Hello friends, welcome back to Steno World. Now I am going to dictate another Supreme Court's landmark judgment at the rate of 100 WPM. So get ready for the dictation. 3, 2, 1, start. Marriage as a social institution is an affirmance of civilized social order where two individuals capable of entering into wedlock have pledged themselves to the institutional norms and values and promised to each other a cemented bond to sustain and maintain the marital obligation. It stands as an embodiment for continuance of the human race. Despite the pledge and promises, on certain occasions, individual incompatibilities, attitudinal differences based on egocentric perception of situations, maladjustment phenomenon, or propensity for non adjustment or refusal for adjustment gets eminently projected that compels both the spouses to take intolerable positions, abandoning individual responsibility, proclivity of asserting superiority, complex betrayal of trust, which is the cornerstone of life, and sometimes a pervert sense of revenge, a dreadful diet, or sheer sense of envy bring the cracks in the relationship when either both the spouses or one of the spouses crave for dissolution of marriage, freedom from the institutional and individual bond. The case at hand, initiated by the husband for dissolution of marriage, was viewed from a different perspective by the learned family court judge who declined to grant divorce as the factum of desertion as requisite in law was not proved, but the High Court, considering certain facts and taking note of subsequent events for which the appellant was found responsible, granted divorce. The High Court perceived the acts of the appellant as the reflection of attitude of revenge in marriage or for vengeance after the reunion pursuant to the decree for restitution of marriage. Presently, to the factual matrix in entirety and the subsequent events, we are absolutely conscious that the relief of dissolution of marriage was sought on the ground of desertion. The submission of the learned counsel for the appellant is that neither subsequent events nor the plea of cruelty could have been considered. There is no cavil over the fact that the petition was filed under Section 13(1)(1)(b). However, on a perusal of the petition, it transpires that there are assertions of ill treatment, mental agony, and torture suffered by the husband. Mental cruelty is a state of mind. The feeling of deep anguish, disappointment, frustration in one spouse caused by the conduct of other for a long time may lead to mental cruelty. Sustained reprehensible conduct, studied neglect, indifference, or total departure from the normal standard of conjugal kindness causing injury to mental health or driving sadistic pleasure can also amount to mental cruelty. The married life should be reviewed as a whole, and a few isolated instances over a period of years will not amount to cruelty. The ill conduct must be persistent for a fairly lengthy period where the relationship has deteriorated to an extent that because of the acts and behavior of a spouse, the wronged party finds it extremely difficult to live with the other party any longer may amount to mental cruelty. Where there has been a long period of continuous separation, it may fairly be concluded that the matrimonial bond is beyond repair. The marriage becomes a fiction, though supported by a legal tie. By refusing to sever that, the law in such cases does not serve the sanctity of marriage. On the contrary, it shows scant regard for the feelings and emotions of the parties. In such like situations, it may lead to mental cruelty.